This is not 2015, but 4chan is still alive, and they're actively allowing and profiting from revenge, rape, encouragement, trafficking, and deepfake on their website right now. Now, 4chan is not the unmoderated no man's land that most people think. It's actually heavily moderated, which makes everything you're about to see so much worse. They're not blocking any of that stuff you're gonna see. They do, however, ban you if they don't like your posts that go against their ideology, whatever that is in the moment. Revenge is the sharing of material without the consent of the people involved in it. It's very illegal, obviously. I assume it's illegal everywhere, no matter which country or state you're in. But on 4chan, it's just another Tuesday. And in one of the most popular boards in 4chan, called B, there is this recurring daily post or thread called Shouldn't Share. The title says it all. It's an admission of a crime, really, of multiple crimes. These are men sharing pictures of random women, past partners, wives, co-workers, classmates, all in the open. But it's not only on those dedicated threads where you find that type of content.
And also, with new information, we can not talk about the involvement of Jeffrey Epstein with the new batch of the Epstein files. It showed that he was a user of 4chan, especially a huge fan of GIF, and we're gonna get to GIF in a second. It is the board on 4chan, and are very prevalent there, but also because allegedly he was directly involved with the creation of POL, the political board on 4chan, with the clear goal of causing political unrest. POL was created a few days after this exchange of emails. And if you don't think that type of behavior spills over real life, this individual right here, I made a video on him. His whole thing is going to foreign countries and just harassing women on the street, like shoving the phone in their faces if they reject him and calling them demons and filming them. And when I made the video, I wasn't aware that he is a 4chaner. He's like a daily user there, and this is not allegedly. It's true. That type of culture does spill over real life, and you can see by the language he uses, all of the terms and his whole philosophy, I guess. It is dangerous. It does have real life consequences, because there's people who will live and consume that culture, and they will go out and act just that way.
Even if you're just innocently browsing something like politics or something that is on the red boards. Red boards are boards where not safe for work content is allowed with certain limitations. But there's ads. There's always ads leading to GIF to this main board. So even if you're not consuming, if you're browsing 4chan, you're probably gonna find yourself on GIF eventually. It's all and so on GIF, you'll find revenge everywhere. You can see wife/girlfriend shared thread late Friday. And let's be honest, these women probably did not consent to being shared on 4chan. And they openly talk about it. They give usually they give a lore behind those posts and their activities without the women knowing probably. Moderators are approving all of those posts, allowing them to stay up and not banning the members sharing them. If you think it's impossible to get banned from 4chan, no, it is not. They do ban you for discourse. They ban you for having the wrong opinions, whatever those opinions may be, but they allow revenge and they run ads on these pages. There's 2 to 4 ads on every single thread. There's at least 2 ads. Every time you click on a thread, there's 2 ads at the very least. So they are making money off of illegal content that the posters themselves admit to being revenge. They say it themselves, like, should not share this. And in the rare instance where there's not an ad, there will be a big click here to advertise on 4chan banner in the place of an ad to, again, incentivize people to advertise on 4chan. Ads are not the only way they are monetizing all of that illegal and disturbing content. You will see more later. Well, revenge is already disturbing. It can ruin people's lives, really, but it can get worse, as we will see. The other way they are monetizing all of that illegal stuff is through what they call the 4chan pass, which allows you to bypass typing a CAPTCHA verification when posting. And recently, they've been making the CAPTCHA process more complicated. In my opinion, it isn't more complicated. It actually became easier, in my opinion, but there's more steps now to prevent bots and also to slow down the rate of posts. So that is also an incentive. So if you pay $30 a year or $60 every 3 years, you can share revenge much faster than a normal user by bypassing the CAPTCHA. Yes, there's people who have been on 4chan for 3 years, making it so they find it worth it to buy the pass. But that's not very surprising for me because I've seen guys saying they've been on 4chan since 2003. That's insane, but it is true. It's really people who they are there forever, really. You have to use cryptocurrency to make the payments. However, it's not as obscure as you might imagine. It's actually done through Coinbase, the official Coinbase platform. So it's as mainstream as it gets. I wonder why Coinbase is allowing this if they're not aware of this. I mean, if you're using Coinbase, you're basically just using money. You might as well just be using your credit card. So because it's so easy and it's the most accessible way of handling cryptocurrency. It's not some obscure, shady kind of thing that is impossible to block and track. No, it's Coinbase. Like, it's the biggest exchange. Maybe it's Binance, I don't know, but it's one of the biggest exchanges, one of the most accessible to use, one of the quickest. They're not gatekeeping it, which would make it a little bit less worse if it was an obscure thing. Also, there would be an excuse if it was a shady thing, but it's not. It's actually very easy to use. Now, onto this trafficking. Girls Deep was a studio that was engaging in trafficking. There are videos explaining this in detail if you're interested. The guys running the studio, they became international fugitives until they got captured, and now they're serving their sentences. And the videos, when this whole thing got exposed, those videos, they were deleted permanently from all of the major tube style websites. And this is a legal thing. Like this is the work of lawyers in the American judicial system and the parties involved. The purge of that type of content, it's a legal thing. You cannot publish those videos and share them. So they're not in any mainstream websites anymore, as far as I know. But on 4chan, again, on the gift board, this is like a daily thing. If you ever are unfortunate enough to click on this website, they're not only sharing those videos daily or weekly, they also go beyond. Like, they dox the actors, not even actors, the girls that were in those videos. This is considered, by the way, on camera. And these people, unfortunately, they share those videos in not only clips, but also their personal photos, their partners, their families, their names. It's insane. It's beyond just sharing stuff that should not be shared, which is already not okay. But they also enjoyed the humiliation aspect of the women that were tricked into shooting against their will, and all of the social consequences, like that information being sent to their families. So again, due to the fact that this kind of content doesn't exist anywhere, those videos don't exist virtually anywhere, hopefully. But that's also an additional element that brings people to 4chan, since it's been scrubbed from everywhere, but it's on 4chan. It's still there, like weekly, daily, and with additional elements as well. The same thing applies to the next topic, which is AI celebrity especially. So this type of content, again, virtually, you cannot find this virtually anywhere. That type of content, like making AI of someone, you're not gonna find that on any major, hopefully any major site. I assume this is very illegal and they wouldn't want to deal with that kind of legal trouble. Obviously, you're not gonna find that in social media sites like Instagram and X, and let alone YouTube. But these threads making all sorts of things with an AI version of a celebrity, they're active, and the moderators are allowing it. It's not an accident, it's not an error that type of content is there. And again, because of the exclusivity factor, even more here, because if celebrities were aware of that type of content and the amount of traffic that Chant still generates, especially because of those videos, because the exclusivity is another element that adds to the engagement, to the traffic, which is basically generating money. So they're profiting off of the fact that you're not going to find this content anywhere in the surface of the web. So advertisers pay money because they know people are going to click on those AI videos, those videos, trafficking and revenge. They know that that type of content is going to bring people to click on those threads, to stay longer on the website. So they're generating money, they're profiting of it, all of those things. So if a single celebrity was made aware of this, they would not tolerate even the existence of 4chan in its current state. 4chan is not no man's land. There have been situations in the past where they had to take actions. They do block a few videos because of multiple different reasons. Like they have metadata to block certain types of content, which honestly makes this so much worse because they're actively allowing those things and profiting off of those things. But what I meant to say is that 4chan is not invincible. If people with influence, they become aware of this infestation of AI celebrity revenge on the website and how they're profiting off of it, there is a chance this operation would be shut down, or at the very least would become very limited, because again, we've seen in the past that 4chan has had to take action against certain types of things in the past. So 4chan is not above the law. It's just a matter of enough people with influence becoming aware of what's going on right now. But there's also yet another trend that is very silly. It's even laughable. It's kind of hilarious in a dark, twisted way. But at the same time, it's very disgusting, which they call it multiple ways. They might call it tributes or split screen, which is a very bizarre genre of, I guess it's, and 4chan is flooded with this type of content, this specific trend, especially on GIF and B, the more friendly or dedicated places on the website. This trend in particular revolves around men to pictures of other women to please other men. Like seriously, that could be funny and silly if it wasn't for the fact that obviously these women don't know what's going on and these images are being shared. It revolves around requests. So you have men on those threads, they ask other men to record themselves on photos of like their female friends, their relatives, their wives, their girlfriends. I mean, that's the worst, the most disgusting part of it is that it's basically on a picture and filming it. That's the quickest way to describe this trend, this genre. I guess this would be a form of code. I don't know. It's very strange, but again, it's not good. The way those threads always have a description as well, like this is my friend from college. Please, can anyone make a video like that? They call it a tribute, and next thing you know, there's a bunch of men filming themselves off to a picture or a video of that woman that has nothing to do with any of that. And again, underneath all of those things we're discussing here, again, it has to be clear the fact that they're monetizing all of that. So somewhere right now, there's a woman who is, I don't know, someone's sister, and she's not aware that there's a man, one of her friends, is in one of those threads sharing her picture so that men can to and make money for this website. That's what's happening here. This is my problem with 4chan. Aside from the fact that, let's be honest, when 4chan got hacked in April, was it 2025? I think it was April 2025 when it got hacked, and then basically all of the moderators got exposed for profiling people, like assigning IP addresses. They're aware of your IP address, but not only that, they also profile, they describe your patterns of posting and all of the times you got banned. So this was all exposed. This got exposed in 2025. So all of the actually smart people who used to browse 4chan, after they saw the total lack of security and they became aware of all of the security risks, they just fucked off. They just never went to post on 4chan again. At best, they're just lurking. And there's not even a reason to go on 4chan anymore. There's nothing. If you go on the politics board, it's just, I guarantee you, at least 90% of the catalog is just Twitter screenshots, literally, or social media screenshots, especially Twitter, social media in general. Just 90% screenshots. There's nothing original there. So what's the point? Honestly, that's the main reason I made this video, because this is not an anti-male video. I'm not exposing man. It's just, this is my way of spreading the message on what 4chan has become and insane it is, but not in the way people imagine it is. People still have when we talk about 4chan, they still have that like 2017, 2015 idea of 4chan, like those crazy racists that have way too much free time in their hands and they're actively doing stuff that spills over real life, investigating crimes, investigating conspiracy theories, and finding obscure places that no one's ever found before, and massive raids, and that shit is dead. It's fucking dead. Like, there's no reason to keep using this website. It's pathetic. And at the same time, it is pathetic, but it is like, it's deliberate the way the website has turned into. Because if they're banning discourse and they're allowing all of that stuff we talked about, we discussed earlier, what is this place?